Hey there, y'all. I want to take you on a little trip with me today. And this is not really a Mess Kit Monday video. You might call it a Coon Cooking Tuesday video. But what I want to do in this video is take you through the process that I put a raccoon through after I've caught it and done everything necessary to undress it and put it in the deep freezer. This is one that I caught December 17th this winter. And in talking about trapping, I'm not a fur trapper. One thing about it is that furs are absolutely worthless in this part of the country, in this lower Alabama area. They simply don't ever thicken up enough to become prime. And the other is that my primary interest in trapping has to do with subsistence living, being able to go into the woods and catch what I need in order to feed myself and my loved ones. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take this. In the bag, it's rather ugly because raccoon is basically a very, very oily, very greasy meat. But I'm going to take it through the process of turning it into a wonderful meal, part of a wonderful meal that we're going to enjoy this evening. I'm not sure what we're going to have with it. Maybe Mrs. David Crolick, my dear wife Shirley, maybe she'll cook up a batch of cold cannon, Irish dish as a side dish to go with this. And cold cannon is made from potatoes and kale. It's very delicious. So what I'm going to do first, and I'm not going to show all of the gory details, but I'm basically going to put this pack of raccoon meat in a pot, cover it with water, throw a bit of salt in there, and I'm going to parboil it before I take it outside to put it through the second process. Stay with me. Taking any kind of wild game from the woods to the table has a good bit of work involved, and raccoon is there's a good bit of work in order to take this thing from out there and put it in here if you want it to be good. Now, one of the things that I want to mention about something as oily, as greasy as raccoon is, fat is an important part of our diet. We have to have a certain amount of fat in our diet. Game animals like squirrels and rabbits and deer, those are very lean animals. There's very little fat in the meat. In fact, when we clean those animals, most of the fat is thrown away. I'm getting a good smoke in here. But we need fat in our diet. And if we discover ourselves in a situation where some kind of big ugly has taken place, we need animals like raccoons and possums. They're easy to catch, relatively easy to catch. We need them for their fat content. And they're relatively easy to catch. There's a couple of little tricks and things that we need to be aware of with both of those animals, more so with the raccoon than with the possum. Possums are such a docile little creature. They'll open their mouth and hiss and all that kind of stuff, but that's about the extent of their aggression. The raccoon, I've said many times, pound for pound, a raccoon is the meanest animal in the woods. And after parboiling the raccoon, and by the way, I cooked this raccoon longer than I planned on it. I got busy waterproofing my pack sack that goes on my Roycroft frame, and I lost track of time and all of that. At this point, I don't need to cook this any longer to make it tender. It's almost ready to fall off the bones. What I'm doing now is getting that good wood smoke and the flavors from the wood. And once I've gotten this to charred pretty good, then I'll take it back inside, and all the fat, anything that's just less than desirable, I'll pull this thing just like pulled pork, and I'll get rid of all the undesirable stuff. And then there's another step that I take it through once I've got the pulled meat that we'll show you after this is done, and we move back inside with it. Kind of noisy today. I've got to tell you, this is smelling really good. Got a little bit of time before I want to take it off the grill and take it inside. One of the things that I was going to mention before things got so noisy, UPS coming down the road to make a delivery. One of the things that I wanted to mention was in cleaning a raccoon, there are a couple of glands in the legs that need to be removed. And I'm not going to do this has already been done. I think Mike Reed at Mike Reed Outdoors has a video on cleaning a raccoon. I'm really not interested in doing videos that everybody else has already done videos about. I know that a lot of the stuff that we do outdoors overlaps, and there's no way to avoid doing some of that, but do a search for cleaning a raccoon, type thing, and find out exactly where those glands are and how you access them and how you get them out of the meat. If you don't get them out of the meat will have a much stronger musky taste. And I think that's one of the keys to cooking good raccoon, is to get those glands out and then know how to prepare it to get as much of the grease and oil out of it. That's pretty enough for a picture, folks. Well, we did it. We cooked a raccoon. We're back up into our tiny kitchen in our tiny cabin. Shirley and I live in 256 square feet. That's inside the place. And then we've got a small 32 square feet screened front porch. But I brought the raccoon into the cabin, let it cool, picked it, pulled it like you'd do pulled pork, and this is what we're working with. That's pretty good.
Hold on, I'm
That's
zooming
pretty
in.
nice.
Okay.
And I've got to tell you, that piece that I'm chewing on is delicious, just like it is. But what I'm going to do with it, if I can do this, hold on. I know you're not supposed to turn your back to the camera or anything, but it was one of those necessary things. Now the label's gone, but folks, that's the Sweet Baby Ray's. I'm going to slather on a generous amount of Sweet Baby Ray's. And I'm going to put the lid on this and stick it in the microwave just long enough to heat it up real good. Now, Mrs. David Kralik Outdoors got busy while I was cooking the coon, and she cranked out a nice pot of cold cannon. Cold cannon is a traditional Irish meal dish made from potatoes and kale. For all you kale lovers out there, and I know there's just millions of you, try this. You simply cook the potatoes, mash them. While the potatoes are cooking, cook the kale, shred it up good. You don't want any stems or anything like that in there. And mix them together with a generous amount of butter, some salt.
Don't stick your fingers in it. You cook some green onions with the kale as well, chopped up real small.
Green onions with the kale.
And while the kale is cooking, the green onions cook, and then after you mash the potatoes, you mix it all together. And don't stick your finger in there.
Well, I don't have a spoon. So.
Well, get a spoon.
Anyway, it's been fun, y'all. We're going to heat up that pulled coon in the microwave, and we're going to fix us a plate, and we're going to enjoy a delicious supper here.
Tracy, what time will you be here for supper?
Yeah, my sister-in-law, Tracy. Where are you, girl? Come on. It's ready. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you on the next one.